In this video, we're going to talk about what are the customers that you should focus on, that we would position our business towards, that have the most highest value to us. And the name for that are the heavy users. So a heavy user is someone that uses your product exactly in the way it's intended to work. They're passionate about it. They use it every day, every week. They have a habit, a pattern, a routine that forms about how and when they use the product. Every sort of product use always helps drive the customer lifetime value up. And as you know, we need the highest possible CLTV. And we only can get there through product usage. You will not have customers buying lots of stuff from your business or staying in a long-term subscription if they don't use it. So it's all about using it. And for that, we obviously need to be very helpful. We need to be a very helpful tool that can assist and transform the customer towards the desired goal of moving from point A, pain, to point B, pleasure, change their life, actually make the transformation possible. And the heavy users, if you know Pareto principle, 80-20 rule, you know that 80% of your revenue is brought in by 20% of your highest paying customers. These highest 20% are also the most passionate, where they just have the best fit in terms of product market fit, where the biggest problem is solved, where the most fulfillment and happiness and pleasure is created through your product, whereas the most value, so they pay the most value in financial terms to the business. And you can use the 80-20 Pareto principle again and again and again on top of each other. So you can have a look at the 20% highest paying customers, and there again, you will find 20% of even smaller cohort that pays 80% of the revenue of this even smaller amount of people. And what we want to do with our business, with all positioning efforts, with all the targeting, with our whole product development, with everything, is to appeal towards these heavy user customers, towards these people that we expect are going to become heavy users in the future. And a lot of businesses, they have like different products and they sell here and they sell there and they have different audiences that buy and they are not really well positioned. And especially sometimes you have products or you have a certain customer cohort that only pays you like 50 euros, 100 euros in overall revenue per customer, because they have a certain customer behavior. And if there's another cohort where the customer behavior is just much more sticky, where you have a much higher retention rate, much more passionate, high frequency usage of your products, or they're reordering every time, or they're buying the bigger packages and they're just consuming more of what you have to offer, then we would always kick out the not so good customers because they're just a waste of marketing spend. For our marketing, it doesn't really matter if we acquire a bad customer or a really great heavy user customer. It will always cost us like 10, 20, 50, 100 euros in cost per acquisition marketing spent. So what we want to acquire, obviously, and our whole targeting, our whole positioning, everything that we create should be tailored towards this heavy user. Because if we acquire him, he will have the highest CLTV for us. He will most likely cost a bit more sometimes in acquiring him because it's a highly valuable customer. But the return on invest that we have from the long-term relationship with this one better, higher quality customer is just so much better. So the whole business should be positioned towards heavy users, and the whole business should be able and enable heavy usage and always have the heavy users kind of pay a premium for that. Yeah. And sometimes there are businesses where extreme heavy users kill the product function kind of. For example, there was this one Berlin startup that I helped in their marketing, and they were selling coupons. Well, they were basically enabling cheaper restaurant visits, and you could get into a restaurant and not pay 100% of the cost for your meal, but only pay 70% or 50% if you go there at other times and not the peak times. And so what happened? Some heavy users evolved, and in this case, these heavy users were actually destroying the brand because they were taking the cheapest possible discounts. They were basically exploiting the restaurants by not having like a good meal there. They were just going there to cash in the discount, not giving any tips, not drinking anything, not even eating there, but they actually ordering something for takeaway. And they were just totally abusing this startup environment and this product that was basically created. So that is not what I want to see, because I want to create a system that profits from these heavy users. And if, for example, if you have a protein shake or like a food startup or a vegan whatever, or like a green smoothie subscription, the more they use it, the better. The more they buy, the bigger the packages can get, the higher some monthly subscription is. That's perfect. Higher CLTV, more product usage, more CLTV. And I want them to consume as much as possible. Sometimes if it's getting unhealthy, then you also have to like make sure that it's sustainable and there's a healthy long-term relationship with the customer. For example, from Facebook, we have like Facebook's goal is to optimize for screen time and to keep people as long as possible on Facebook or Instagram. But what happens is people get so sucked into the algorithm that they spend 8 to 10 hours per day on newsfeed, getting completely addicted, and eventually have to leave the platform for detox. And they want to like delete their account because their life got so messed up and they're so depressed because of this dopamine hits in the algorithm. So this is not a healthy long-term heavy usage. I want healthy long-term heavy user relationships where the more use, the more consumption is happening, the better for me and for the customer. For example, if I have a fitness studio and someone pays every time they get there, I win. The more they get there, if they come 1 time a day, that's perfect. And they come 2 times a day, that's great. If they come 3-4 times a day, it's like getting weird, but it's not destroying anyone, right? It's still a healthy long-term relationship. And these are the kinds of products that I want. And once we have these heavy users identified, then we can position the whole business and the whole concept towards attracting more of these heavy users, because they will pay the most in CLTV. There we make the most beneficial transformation, and they will also become the most sticky, the most passionate, the most valuable in terms of our customer database and word of mouth, and giving referrals, being like a very loyal customer, brand ambassador even. And yeah, that is like the core audience that we want. And this is very important. And in the next video, I'm going to tell you how we can attract these audiences best.